What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Adventure Outpost. With another summer movie season nearing its end, I thought it would be a fun video to look back on summers past and see the plethora of great movies that have been unleashed and rank up the best of the best. That's right, we're looking at those juicy summer months between the first week of May to Labor Day weekend. And I was originally only looking to do the 50 best. But with decades upon decades of summer movies to choose from, I quickly realized that 50 just wasn't going to do it justice. And we'd need to do more. A lot more. So welcome to the 100 best summer movies of all time. Now this is going to be a two-part video with loads to get through, so hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, drop some comments down below. I want to know your favorite summer movies. And without further ado, let's start the movie. Kicking us off at 100 is Knocked Up, released on June 1st, 2007, a movie I saw in theaters on June 7th, 2007 at 4:15 p.m. A hilarious comedy about two people who couldn't be more different having a one-night stand and getting pregnant. Features hilarious performances from all of Apatow's menagerie of actors, coupled with some heartwarming moments that make this stand out as one of his best efforts. At 99 is Disney's animated classic Mulan, released June 19th, 1998. A story of a young girl who impersonates a man to take her father's place in the army to counter a Han invasion. Dropping during Disney's Renaissance, Mulan is a fun, spirited, and exciting tale of knowing your worth and rising to your full potential despite the limitations of society. At 98 is Atomic Blonde, released July 28th, 2017. A movie I saw that very same day, but unfortunately the ticket stub has been lost to time. A beautifully shot and choreographed action film about an MI6 agent sent into Berlin during the Cold War to find a list of double agents. Charlize Theron has never been better as the brutally violent and captivating MI6 agent, and her wave of destruction and mayhem help keep afloat its limp story structure. At 97 is Captain America Civil War, released May 6th, 2016. Another movie I saw that very same day with an MIA ticket stub. Iron Man and Captain America find themselves at odds in this riveting action film as disagreements over international oversight fractures the Avengers team, forcing everyone to choose a side. The movie boasts one of its best villains yet, with a rousing finale that truly sets the stage for the epic conclusion in the later Avengers films. At 96 is Crimson Tide, released May 12th, 1995. Submarine movies are one of my favorite unsung genres, and this one about two officers clashing from conflicting interpretations of an order to launch their missiles is straight 90s action thriller that just doesn't get made anymore. Taut, exciting, it's an absolute roller coaster ride with two stellar performances from Denzel Washington and Gene Hackman. At 95 is Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, released July 30th, 2004, and it's one of the first movies I ever snuck into, so no ticket stub. It's a comedy classic about two stoners looking to satiate their munchies with some delicious White Castle burgers. It's irreverent, over the top, and absolute lunacy, but that's part of its charm, and it is such a fun ride whether you imbibe or not. At 94 is X-Men Days of Futures Past, released May 24th, 2014. A movie I saw May 26th at 6:55. A movie that shouldn't work nearly as well as it does. It combines both iterations of the X-Men to create a seamless time travel tale of the X-Men trying to save their future by altering the past. It's everything you want in a summer blockbuster dealing with time travel. It's never boring nor outstays its welcome. Now, if only it was the last movie in this franchise, it would have been such a great swan song. At 93 is The Sixth Sense, released August 6th, 1999. This movie scared the shit out of me as a kid. Bruce Willis is a child psychologist whose latest patient claims he can see and talk to the dead. Even knowing the twist all these years later, this movie still packs a punch and is a testament to how well written and structured this movie is. Going back and rewatching and seeing the breadcrumbs to clue you in on some of the best plotting of any movie around is an absolute achievement in psychological thrillers. At 92 is Superbad, released August 17th, 2007. I saw it that same day at 7:40. Talk about a movie being released and feeling like it was speaking directly to you. Me and my friends were all just about to separate and leave for college for the first time as this movie dropped, and it felt like a love letter and fear brought to life of everything we were going through at that exact moment. It spoke to us in a way few movies do, and I'll never forget how much I laughed and how worried I felt knowing that I too was about to say goodbye to my friends and that everything was about to change. At 91 is Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery, released May 2nd, 1997. Comedy is the perfect ingredient for a great summer, and you'd be hard pressed to find many better than Austin Powers. A hilarious send up of James Bond in British culture, Mike Myers is at his absolute funniest here, with so many amazing bits and quotable dialogue that is still uttered today. At 90 is Crazy Rich Asians, released August 15th, 2018. A surprise summer smash that tore the roof off the place in those dog days of summer. A fantastic rom-com about a woman going to meet her boyfriend's insanely rich family. It has all the classic beats you want from a rom-com with a heartwarming message to close it out. I can still remember the craziness of working this movie as it caught fire. It was absolutely wild. At 89 is Pineapple Express, released August 6th, 2008, and a movie that I saw the very same day at 2:25. Two stoners must team up together to survive hitmen and corrupt police officers after witnessing them commit a murder. It's balls to the wall silly and over the top, which is just what you want from your irreverent stoner comedies. And Rogen and Franco shine here in what is easily the best of their collaborations. At 88 is The 40-Year-Old Virgin, released August 19th, 2005, a movie I saw at 2 p.m. that very same day. Seems August is the sweet spot for those comedy hits, and this movie is no different about its title character trying to finally get laid and find love after all these years. It was a breakout hit and the start of Apatow's mega fame, along with his cadre of star players like Seth Rogen, like Steve Carell, Jonah Hill, and especially my man, Paul Rudd. At 87 is Cliffhanger, released May 28th, 1993, an insane gonzo action thriller about a mountain climber embroiled in the heist of a U.S. Treasury plane flying through the Rocky Mountains. And yes, it's as absurd as that sounds, and it's also loads of fun. It's pure adrenaline that'll keep you glued to the edge of your seat with a great performance by Stallone and an even better one by John Lithgow, who chews every damn scene he's in. At 86 is Tarzan, released June 16th, 1999. Regarded as the final film of Disney's Renaissance era, the film is a masterclass in everything Disney did well at that time. It brought a classic story to life in a way only Disney could, with an absolute fire soundtrack by Phil Collins and some stellar blend of animation styles to create one of the best of Disney's Renaissance films. At 85 is A Knight's Tale, released May 11th, 2001, about a peasant who poses as a knight to compete in jousting tournaments. It's the perfect type of summer escapist fare. Its effortless pace with fun performances and hilariously anachronistic musical choices help make this film be something completely unique to its genre. At 84 is South Park Bigger, Longer, Uncut, released June 30th, 1999. A film as timely today as it was when it was released, a scathing satire of censorship and scapegoating as the United States declares war on Canada and our intrepid heroes must take it upon themselves to save the day. It's insanely vile and over the top in a way only Trey Parker and Matt Stone are capable of. It's endlessly quotable with amazing music, highlighting just how immensely talented the duo from Colorado are. At 83 is Gone in 60 Seconds, released June 9th, 2000. Action movies with absurd premises are absolutely the best kind around, and Gone in 60 Seconds dials that up to 11 as we follow a group of criminals as they have to steal 50 cars in one night for a gangster while evading the cops. It's absurd, it's fun, and stars a bevy of stars both new and old to help sell the absolutely insanely just silly nature of its thrilling plot. At 82 is Scary Movie, released July 7th, 2000, a movie my dad took me to see that I saw in theaters way younger than I should have. A hilarious spoof of horror movies. It's a film that epitomizes and brought about the end of spoof movies, as two of its writers would go on to destroy the spoof movie entirely with films like Date Movie and Epic Movie. But that can't take away from all the good this film does, perfectly sending up the tropes and nature of the horror films of its era. At 81 is American Pie, released July 9th, 1999, about a group of high schoolers trying to lose their virginity by their high school graduation. A movie that set the standard for high school sex comedies in the new millennium. The film is absolutely hilarious with over-the-top sight gags and a picture-perfect character in Jim and the horrible messes he gets himself into trying to get laid. It's also coined phrases heard round the world today in MILF and this one time at band camp. At 80 is Backdraft, released May 24th, 1991. Directed by the always reliable Ron Howard, this action thriller follows a group of Chicago firefighters on the trail of a serial arsonist. The 90s could make a movie about anything and find ways to dial its action up to the max, making something as simple as firefighters fighting an arsonist into a roller coaster ride of insanity with great performances and some stellar practical effects. At 79 is True Lies, released July 15th, 1994. Once upon a time, the most expensive movie ever made, a running theme in Jim Cameron's career. This action flick sees Arnie as a government agent trying to balance his double life as a spy with his family life. It's Jim's first attempt at mixing comedy within his action, and it's a rousing success. The movie is fun, sexy, and riveting as all hell, as Schwarzenegger gets to lean into both aspects of his talent in action and comedy, and go toe-to-toe with Jamie Lee Curtis as his wife discovering his secret life. At 78 is Hercules, released June 13th, 1997, boasting one of my favorite Disney songs ever. Hercules is a fantastic voyage into another of history's greatest legends. James Woods in particular shines here as Hades as he tries to unleash the Titans on the world and wreak havoc on Earth. This was Disney at the height of its game, where it seemed that it could do absolutely no wrong. At 77 is Jurassic World, released June 12th, 2015, a movie I saw the same day, but sad emoji, no ticket stub. The best of the Jurassic Park sequels sees the amusement park officially open to the public, but all is not as it seems when a new dinosaur escapes from its enclosure and goes on a rampage within the park. It's larger than life and the first film in a long time to truly capture the spirit of the first Jurassic Park. This film was an absolute monster when it came out too, making every bit of money you could imagine. Seriously, working this movie was absolutely insane and just ungodly awful, and something I've only ever seen a handful of times in my career at the theater. At 76 is A Time to Kill, released July 24th, 1996, about a group of lawyers defending a man accused of killing two men in cold blood after they raped his daughter. Not exactly the type of movie you'd expect to find in the summer, but the southern setting and hot-button issues perfectly mixed in the summer months to create a timely, thought-provoking movie that stayed with you long after you left the theaters, with memorable performances and some absolutely incredible dialogue. Seriously, that just courtroom scene with Matthew McConaughey is chef's kiss. At 75 is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, released June 2nd, 2023, one of only two movies this year to make this list, and one I saw June 4th at 2:30. And even with no third act, this movie is an absolute tour de force in animation, as Miles Morales contends with the Spider Society as they come into conflict over their handling of new threat Spot. Its usage of different animation styles blending together creates a completely unique and mesmerizing type of animation. This movie is absolutely stellar. I just wish it felt more complete, and it would have been one of the best, not only Spider-Man movies, but one of the best movies of all time. At 74 is Batman Returns, released June 19th, 1992, and follows the Caped Crusader as he comes face to face with a menagerie of villains in the Penguin and Max Schreck, along with femme fatale Catwoman, who is seeking vengeance of her own against Schreck. It's my favorite of the 90s Batman films, with an absurd plot as the Penguin tries to become mayor, and an even absurder ending as the Penguin straps rockets to penguins and sends them to blow up City Hall. Couple that lunacy with an amazing Christmas aesthetic, and you've got one hell of a movie. At 73 is Apollo 13, released June 30th, 1995, and tells the story of the infamous NASA mission. Biopics aren't usually a genre designed for summer hits, but when you have a rousing, thrilling, this really happened story like Apollo 13, you use that summer thrill to your advantage. Featuring a who's who of great performances and stunning practical effects work, Ron Howard creates another masterclass in thrilling motion pictures that astound and amaze. At 72 is Rush Hour 2, released August 3rd, 2001. My personal favorite in the franchise, with loads of laughs and all the great kung fu action you come to expect from Jackie Chan. The way he and Chris Tucker play off each other elevates this to the top as some of the best American cinema to utilize Jackie Chan correctly. At 71 is The Avengers, released May 4th, 2012, a movie I saw on May 9th at 4 p.m. for only $7.50. And that's in New York City, like that's insane. It was one of the biggest movies of all time upon its release, a revolutionary concept of bringing together standalone movies into one huge event picture that fired on all cylinders. Picture perfect in design, this movie is loads of fun, showcasing just how big these movies could be if done right. And they were correct. We will get to two movies later on that absolutely blew up with how insane that these movies could become. At 70 is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, released July 15th, 2011, a movie I saw July 23rd at 11:30, the culmination of an era. I grew up on the books and then on the movies. I still remember lining up at Barnes & Noble's to get the last book. Splitting it into two parts had both pros and cons for this series. It let us get the full scope of the book without sacrificing anything for time, but had the unfortunate consequence of making everyone think their movies should be split into two, inundating us with these two-part movies that would have been better served as one movie. Looking at you across the Spider-Verse and Mission Impossible 7. At 69 is X2, released May 2nd, 2003, the best of the X-Men franchise. This did what all great sequels should do, and that's expand upon the universe with a more stripped down and personal story. And following Wolverine's journey with William Stryker was just the ticket they needed. Everyone shines in this movie, especially the opening with Nightcrawler attacking the White House, highlighting just what fun we can have with these superhero movies back when it was all new and unique and exciting. At 68 is The Rock, released June 7th, 1996. A balls-to-the-walls action film about a group trying to stop a military madman from launching nerve gas missiles upon San Francisco from the island of Alcatraz. That is absurd in only the way the 90s can be. The only ones who can stop him, Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery. What a dynamic duo right there. This movie is absolutely bonkers in the best way possible and was the perfect utilization of Michael Bay's frenzied, childlike direction. At 67 is Thelma and Louise, released May 24th, 1991, a road trip adventure movie about two girls on the lam from the law after they kill a man attempting to rape one of them. Again, not a theme you'd expect from a summer hit, but this movie manages to blend so many genres effortlessly that makes this movie just a breezy, fun adventure movie of two women taking their lives into their own hands that it's impossible not to fall in love with it. Gina Davis and Susan Sarandon are picture perfect as the two women on the run, with Harvey Keitel hot in their trails and a young, boyishly good-looking Brad Pitt in an early role. At 66 is Crazy Stupid Love, released July 29th, 2011, the best rom-com ever released, as we follow Steve Carell as a dad stuck in a rut, finding himself going through a divorce and learning how to be more romantic and charm women. Ryan Gosling and Carell play off of each other so well, and everyone brings their A-game, from Julianne Moore to Emma Stone. It's one of the most enjoyable, fun movies that leaves you with a smile from ear to ear and has one of the best third act twists in a movie that I have seen thus far, especially for a romantic comedy. At 65 is Last Action Hero, released June 18th, 1993. Maligned when it was first released, this action spoof is a wonderful send-up of action tropes while being one hell of an action movie itself. A young kid gets a winning ticket with magical properties that ends up sucking him into the movie he's watching, letting him become like the action heroes he wishes he could be. Arnie is at his scene-chewing best, sending up the persona he made famous with ludicrous scene after scene of amazing one-liners and over-the-top action. At 64 is Shrek, released May 18th, 2001. The story of an ogre looking to get his swamp back and must save a princess for a lord with the help of his annoying sidekick, Donkey. It's the absolute pinnacle of 2000s animation and the first ever Best Animated Feature winner, and deservedly so. The perfect send-up of every fairy tale movie Disney has ever released. The laughs are non-stop. The voice actors are all fantastic, with Myers, Diaz, Murphy, and Lithgow at the top of their game, and it spawned one of the biggest franchises of the 21st century. Not bad for a mean green ogre machine. At 63 is Batman Begins, released June 15th, 2005, a movie I saw the 17th at 5 p.m. The relaunch of Batman as a property was anything but a sure bet, and it's crazy to think what would have happened to the Caped Crusader if not for Christopher Nolan, a man synonymous with summer blockbuster. The film reboots Batman, telling his origin story and his fight to stop Ra's al Ghul and Scarecrow from destroying Gotham City. It crafted a very crime drama aspect and aesthetic to Gotham City, making these films more film noir with superheroes than straight up superhero movies, and the results are spectacular. Christian Bale is incredible in the lead role, as is the huge star-studded cast bringing this world to life. At 62 is Tropic Thunder, released August 13th, 2008, a movie I saw August 18th at 7:05. It's a hilarious send-up of the process of making movies and dealing with the rampant egos that inhabit our favorite actors. From the action hero wanting more respect, to the respected method actor who doesn't know when to quit, and the drug-addled superstar just trying to get by, every character is a gloriously over-the-top lampoon of the Hollywood we know and love. It's a ridiculous send-up and may just be one of the best spoof movies ever made, with one hell of an amazing cast. At 61 is Star Wars Episode III: Revenge of the Sith, released May 19th, 2005, a movie I saw May 20th at 4 p.m. The culmination of the prequel trilogy. This movie was everything when I was a kid, a movie we saw repeatedly over the summer, the finale of the journey to the dark side for Anakin Skywalker. It's a film that's still bogged down by George Lucas's rough dialogue, but the story of Anakin's descent into madness has some of Star Wars' best staged scenes, and without a shadow of a doubt boasts the best lightsaber fight ever put on screen. Which is insane to say when the sequel trilogy exists, but nothing that trilogy ever did touched Revenge of the Sith's lightsaber fight. At 60 is Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, released May 22nd, 2008, a movie I saw May 31st at 2:15. This adventure sees Indy teaming up with his estranged son to fight the KGB in search of a fabled crystal skull. Vastly inferior when compared to its original trilogy, there is still a lot left to offer for this fourth installment. Its opening salvo as Indy faces the Russians in Area 51 is loads of fun, and that sight of Indy staring down a nuclear explosion is just fucking beautiful. Couple that with a lot of fun fight sequences and you have a movie with loads to love, even if the CGI is shoddy at times, and the less said about Shia swinging with the monkeys, the better. At 59 is Die Hard with a Vengeance, released May 19th, 1995. The third adventure in the McClane universe sees him team up with Samuel L. Jackson to face down a threat from his past during one wild day in New York City. It was genius of them to finally switch out the Christmas setting to taking us to John's neck of the woods in New York City. It really adds to the aesthetic and grungy nature of the movie. And this movie is pure adrenaline from start to finish. And the little things add so much to this movie, like the fact that McClane is hungover for the entirety of this film and is just trying to make it through the day. That's just pure 90s action bliss. At 58 is The Fugitive, released August 6th, 1993. Harrison Ford stars as a man wrongly convicted of killing his wife, and upon breaking out of a police transport vehicle, sets about proving his innocence. A runaway hit when it was released, this film is an absolute smash. Harrison Ford shines, and Tommy Lee Jones earns that well-deserved Oscar as the two face off against each other in a wonderful game of cat and mouse. At 57 is War of the Worlds, released June 29th, 2005, a movie I saw in theaters 3 times, on June 29th, July 2nd, and July 12th. I love sci-fi, and Steven Spielberg and Tom Cruise. So putting all three back together again after Minority Report was a dream come true. And while the movie might have too saccharine an ending, the first two-thirds of this movie absolutely rip, showcasing what an alien invasion could terrifyingly look like if their intentions were purely hostile. First Contact, the boat attack, and the stomach-churning basement scenes are all amazing showcases of what a master Spielberg is behind the camera. At 56 is Detroit, released July 28th, 2017. A movie I saw in theaters, but the ticket stub has unfortunately been lost to time. A pulse-pounding, edge-of-your-seat, anxiety-riddled roller coaster this movie is, as we watch a night gone terribly wrong for a group of young black men and two white girls at the Algiers Motel during the 1967 riots. Sickening to watch at times, but unable to take your eyes off the screen, everyone is magnetic in their performances, especially John Boyega as a security guard in over his head and Will Poulter as the nutjob police officer terrorizing these kids. At 55 is Braveheart, released May 24th, 1995, our first Best Picture winner to grace this list. And yeah, it's wildly historically inaccurate, but this movie still manages to wring every bit of emotion out of you as you follow the tale of William Wallace and his fight against King Edward I. It's a stunning war film that never sags and rips through its 3-hour runtime, and I dare you not to get swept up at that final cry of freedom. At 54 is Mad Max Fury Road, released May 15th, 2015, a movie I saw on the day but with no stub to back it up. It's the ultimate chase movie. It's amazing that they can make something as simple as they chase them here and then they chase them back can be so much goddamn fun. Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron shine in this as two budding egos trying to save their skin. It's ludicrous, over the top, with incredible visual effects and amazing practical effects. At 53 is Troy, released May 14th, 2004, a movie that I saw on the day, but as has been the theme with this, I miss a lot of my ticket stubs. Now, this movie is a guilty pleasure movie of mine that is actually loads of fun and insanely impressive, even without the superior director's cut. Everyone is on top form with some fantastic dialogue and epic action scenes. Brad Pitt and Eric Bana's fight scene is still one of the best 1v1 fight scenes I've seen put on screen. At 52 is Up, released May 29th, 2009, a movie I saw on the same day at 4 p.m. The Pixar movie that makes everyone cry in the beginning instead of at the end this time. This company's ability to make these thought-provoking children's tales is never short of amazing, and its childlike wonder as its two leads use a balloon house to set a course for adventure is such a fun, unique, lauded story that cemented Pixar as a company that could do no wrong and as one of the most uniquely talented production companies working today. At 51 is Guardians of the Galaxy, released August 1st, 2014, a movie I saw on the day, but of course we've got no ticket stub. This was the movie that cemented the MCU as another studio that could do no wrong, managing to make a huge box office hit about a ragtime group of losers that included a talking raccoon and a sentient tree that could only say, "I am Groot." With anyone other than James Gunn at the helm, this movie could have been a surefire disaster. But with his heartwarming brand of hilarity, he manages to wring some charm and pathos out of this absurd sci-fi tale. And that will do it for part 1 of our list, number 100 through 51 of the best summer movies ever released. Be sure to check back here for the next in the adventure, the part 2, numbers 50 through number 1 of the best summer movies ever released. So be sure to hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, turn that notification bell on so you will be notified as soon as that video goes live. Drop some comments down below. I'd like to know, what are your favorite summer movies? And also maybe drop a like down there, see if you can guess what number 1 is. See if you can figure out what my favorite summer movie ever released is. But that'll do it for all of us here at the Outpost in this adventure. Until next time, you have been you, I have been me. These are the movies that we love so much. And until next time, I'll see you at the movies.